Good morning. This lecture video is going to go over the bones of the cranium. So there are approximately 8 cranial bones. The frontal bone is the bone right in front, so that would be right in front of your forehead. There's one of those. The parietal bones would be the bones on the side. There's 2 of those. The temporal bones are down below, closer to your ear. There are 2 of those. The occipital bone would be behind your head. There's 1 of those. The sphenoid bone, which is going to be underneath and then come up to the side in between your frontal and temporal bone. And then your ethmoid bone, which is going to be located deep within the skull. Color these different bones, different colors on your diagrams, and label them. There are a couple specialty or processes that you should know on some of these different bones. So on the temporal bone, there is the external auditory meatus, and that's going to be located right here. So this opening. The zygomatic process, which is going to be the long bone that will end up forming your cheekbone. The mastoid process, which is going to be this big bulge down below in the inferior part of the temporal bone. The styloid process is going to come off, again, this inferior part of the temporal bone. And then the mandibular fossa, which will be right below or inferior to the zygomatic process. So again, color these or X these and label these on your diagram. The occipital bone, which is going to make up the back of your head, has 2 condyles called the occipital condyles, and condyles is kind of a fancy word for a bump. And then this big hole in here. So a hole in the skull is called a foramen. This is the foramen magnum, and this is going to be where the spinal cord is going to attach to the brain. And then on your sphenoid bone, you have the sella turcica right here. And finally, on the ethmoid bone, you have the curbiform plate, which would be located right here. Those are the structures of your cranium. The next lecture video will look at your facial bones.